onefootflipper.
Hi, Paige here, the One Foot Flipper, and today we're going to talk about 8 things that you can ask for instead of video games. I know you see everybody doing this in their videos. Hey, you got any video games? You don't happen to have any video games, do you? You got any video games? And in the videos, what you often see is, oh, these amazing collections of cartridge-based games or Nintendo consoles with all Zelda and Metroid games come out. What you don't see is the 90% failure rate on that, and that most of the time when it is successful, you get this awkward situation where you wait a long time. Sometimes there's phone calls to other people to see if they can sell the games, and then the worthless stack of disc-based games comes out. Because most disc-based games these days are essentially worthless. They're selling at just above shipping cost. Disc-based games are an in-decline category, and I don't know why people are running after them as hard as they do, when there are so many other things you could be asking for instead. Like rock records. I always say that if I'm going to ask for records, I ask for rock records. I don't ask just for records, because I don't need that collection of old gospel music or 78s or singing church families or Barry Manilow coming out. I want, 70s, 80s, 60s rock music, and usually the pop music that'll go along with that, because those are the records that are actually sellable. Sometimes asking that can get you boxes of records worth hundreds of dollars for very little cost. And you might even get a favorite you can keep, like Stevie Nicks here. She's not for sale. Alright, I sold a lot of 2 flash modules for $10.94. Next thing you can ask for, instead of video games, is Dungeons and Dragons. Every single thing that says Dungeons and Dragons on it is essentially sellable. And some of these items are worth hundreds of dollars. And most of the hardcover books are at least worth tens of dollars, if not 20s, 30s, 50. I think this one is around $60 or $70 in the condition it is. Now, you're going to get a low hit rate on that stuff. You're going to get a low hit rate on a lot of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, but when it does hit, it's going to probably be better than that average stack of video games, or even better than that good stack of video games. Speaking of stacks, I sold this stack of Wargame replacement unit cards, $28. Normally I send these in envelopes, but they bought so many of them that I think I'm just going to send it first class, because I don't think it's flexible enough for the eBay standard envelope. I list game replacement cards in the non-sports card category, trading card category, because they're cards, you can trade them, they're not sports. And that allows you to use eBay standard envelope. And also, I'm not going to show it because I didn't pull it yet, but I also sold a Indiana Avenue Monopoly card, 1940, for $2.69. You can sell those very early Monopoly cards individually, because many people are trying to piece together complete early box sets, and they're missing one thing or another. Now, another thing you can ask for and get for nearly free is old computers. You're looking for things from the 90s and older. Basically, any computer, once you get that old, it has some value, whether it's in the whole computer, whether it's in the parts. You're also wanting the software and games for those systems. Back when people actually bought physical PC games. And a lot of that old computer stuff, the systems can be valuable. The parts can be even more valuable. Certain old sound cards and video cards are worth hundreds of dollars on their own. Those disk drives and all of that stuff has value. And it can be even free. Sometimes people will just be glad to get rid of that stuff. And I've never seen anyone talk about asking for old computers, but they're out there. And it's not going to cost you much anything when they show up. Sold a couple of record albums that aren't really all that rock. Barry Manilow, Greatest Hits. And Henry Gross. I don't actually know if Henry Gross is rock or not. Most of his album title seems like he's singing the girls. Total of $9 for the 2 of them. You can tell me down in the comments what Henry Gross sings, if it's anything that I would know or not. Also, I'm 24 hours into running another promotion, and once again it's showing me that customers don't notice promotions. Right now I have nearly 8,000 trading cards set for 50% off orders of 4 or more. Not one sale yet using that promotion. One person did go ahead and buy 3. Would have been cheaper if they'd bought 4. Those game cards weren't in the promotion, but most of my trading cards are. At least half of them are. People aren't, a lot of times, just aren't looking at that stuff, so don't price your stuff based around promotions or coupons. The next thing that could be absolute gold, if you can find it, is Warhammer. Anything that says Warhammer or that is Warhammer is sellable, whether it's the rule books, the novels, the metal figures. In fact, I sold these, I got 3 metal figures and a piece to a metal figure. I just sold those today for just under $110, like $109.96, 3 separate transactions. Now, when you're asking for all this stuff, since you can't ask for everything in the world, you've got to kind of judge the people that you're looking at, the house you see, what else is in the sale. You don't want to ask Grandma and Grandpa Smith in their old farmhouse if they have Warhammer figures. They don't. You want to ask people in their 40s or 50s who possibly have other nerdy looking things in their sale already. And for the nerdy stuff like Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons, the more sports stuff you see, the less likely that the Warhammer or D&D stuff is going to be there. So you're going to want to tune what you ask for with that in mind. Matter of fact, when you see all that sports memorabilia, probably what you're going to want to ask for is hats. Hats are a great, easy pickup, and it's really the only thing I ever see other people asking for that I mentioned in this video, because hats can often be bought for 50 cents, $1, sometimes in massive quantities, and most of them are sellable. And you get the ones that aren't sellable, you lot them up into a big lot, put the big lot up there, just try to recoup your cost. You'll recoup your cost every time. Oh, look, 10 hats for $10. I'll buy that. Somebody who collects hats will do that. You get rid of your 10 unsellable hats, and you only are stuck with the good ones. All right, I sold 2 sets of Michael Jackson Mazer Blazers, 2 sets of 2. I'm almost out of these. These have been selling every video. I think I've got 1 set of 2 and 1 single left. These sold for a total of $17.98. Now, I see a lot of people in real life garage sales and in videos asking for Pokemon cards, and I don't know why they're doing that. For one thing, Pokemon cards are not the most valuable, nor the most common collectible card game cards. And people tend to have an overly inflated view of their value. Most Pokemon cards are worthless. In most Pokemon collections you would purchase, there will not be a single card of any significant value there. None. And unless you are an expert and know each card, know all the cards or all the sets, you're not even going to be able to tell by looking at it. Unless, once again, you are an expert or you've memorized the early set symbols. But you know what you can take a chance on much easier? Ask for is Magic cards. Magic cards are much more common than Pokemon cards. They've been around longer. Their values can go way, way, way higher. And you are much more likely to find some value in any random assortment or collection of that you buy, even if you know nothing about them whatsoever. Individual cards, Magic cards, even in poor condition, if you've got stuff from the earliest sets, can be hundreds or thousands of dollars each. Now, you're not all likely to find that, but you're going to find value in every single collection, both because the value is more spread out amongst the cards more evenly, while in Pokemon, the early sets have value in a few of the cards, and then each set, really, most of the value in the set only goes to a couple of cards and the rest are worthless. And those children's collections, which are the ones that you're going to end up getting when you ask for Pokemon cards at garage sales, will not have those cards in it because the kids will have gotten those cards card-sharked away from them from their smarter friends. They will have traded them away, not realizing they were valuable. And I'm no longer stocking Magic cards because I haven't bought any in a long time, but I'm still selling 10 to 20 bucks a day worth of my minimum price point $1.99 cards. It's not, low-end cards are not the greatest business in the world, but they do continue to sell. I'm probably not going to restock any more low-end ones, but if I find more Magic cards and I find high-end ones, I'll certainly sell all of them. Next thing you might want to ask for is old horror movies. Most specifically VHS, but even DVD works because a lot of these horror movies were made for direct-to-video or ultra-low budget. And a lot of the VHS ones, direct-to-video, they never had a DVD release. Or even the ones that had a DVD release, the DVD release was not widespread, and these movies are not available on any streaming service at all, so you can find a lot of value in horror movies. When I looked it up at Terapeak, for VHS horror, the average sale price was somewhere around $13 or $14, which isn't bad for something you're probably going to pay a quarter for. I sold this lot of 4 Bachmann G-scale train cars. I think I underpriced it because there were 4 in that box when I bought it. That's not how it came, but I just sold the box the way I found it, and I put it up at $79.99, and it sold within hours. So still profit. Your last thing you're gonna want to ask for, rather than video games, is golf clubs and bats. Both of bats, I found most metal bats are sellable as long as you can see what's on them. And if you're only paying $1 each, it doesn't matter. You can donate your mistakes. You can do what I do and keep a nice one at the front door just in case for security reasons. Now, for golf clubs, you do got to either learn a little bit or be willing to look them up, or just realize that the fancier looking ones are probably the ones that have value. Your old 80s and 70s looking ones, they don't have any value, but the fancier it looks, the more value it probably has. Nike golf clubs, apparently they don't make those anymore, so that's the thing. And those are easy sellers. They're easy shippers. You just get the, I buy the 4x4 by 48 inch shipping box, and I use that. I cut that down for both golf clubs and for bats, and I charge $10 shipping on clubs or bats, and they'll all go in that box, UPS, usually at or around that $10. Usually a little bit under, but the boxes do cost money. All right, I think that is everything I've got for today. So, hey, be sure and tell your Uncle Jimbo about this channel. I don't think he's heard about it yet. I haven't seen him in the comments. Post your other things in the comments that you think people should pick up at garage sales or ask for instead of video games. Hope to see you again soon.